welcome to New Creation Worship for November 22. This is our 37th digital service. We continue to journey together through this pandemic, seeking to be a community that cares about each other and lives our lives in such a way to protect one another. Right now, that means that we continue to worship together digitally. I'm grateful, though, how others have been able to join us as we worship this way. So if you are a regular attender or somebody who has never actually been in our church building before but have found us since the beginning of this pandemic, you are welcome with us in this worship. There are many categories that the world uses to try to divide us. A new creation, we recognize those differences, but we seek to celebrate them, to celebrate those differences as gifts and blessings. Our differences in color, gender, sexual orientation, and the many, many other ways that we are categorized by this world. You are welcome to join us on this journey as we discern how to follow Jesus more faithfully. Each week we light our peace lamp. This morning I want to acknowledge that in the best of times, we are just now entering a season that can be difficult for many. This week we have Thanksgiving on Thursday, and next Sunday is the first Sunday of Advent. The holiday season is supposed to be a time of gathering with family, of happiness and joy. There are those for whom family is always a difficult thing, filled with complexities. This year, people also have to wrestle with the decision if they will choose to gather with their families or not. And there will be many who will decide not to, at least not in the way that they desire to. COVID numbers in our country continue to rise, bringing with it fear and anxiety for many, many people. May God draw near to God's beloved children. May the light of the peace of God break through the darkness, revealing peace to those who have no peace. May God's peace surround you this morning, wherever you are, however you approach this holiday season. Peace to you. Let us take a moment as we center our hearts and our minds with our meditative music this morning. As I was seeking a call to worship for this morning, I kept hearing a voice in my head. It sounded a little bit like Audrey's, saying, "Check out Jan Richardson." So I did, and I found this blessing that Jan wrote back in February of 2016. I thought it captured well the dissonance that many of us might be feeling as we enter this holiday season. It's not unlike that dissonance that exists when we gather as a community together, as some will have had an amazing week, and others bring burdens with them and much to lament. This is the beauty and the complexity of walking the journey of life together. So a blessing by Jan Richardson. Beloved is where we begin. If you would enter into the wilderness, do not begin without a blessing. Do not leave without hearing who you are, beloved, named by the one who has traveled this path before you. Do not go without letting it echo in your ears. And if you find it is hard to let it into your heart, do not despair. That is what this journey is for. I cannot promise you this blessing will free you from danger, from fear, from hunger or thirst, from the scorching of the sun or the fall of the night. But I can tell you that on this path there will be help. I can tell you that on this way there will be rest. I can tell you that you will know the strange graces that come to our aid only on a road such as this, that fly to meet us bearing comfort and strength, that come alongside us for no other cause than to lean themselves toward our ear and with their curious insistence whisper our name. Beloved, beloved, beloved.
Today's children's time lesson comes from the first story of creation in Genesis 1, the first book of the Hebrew Bible or Christian Old Testament. It's a story that some of you might know, and some of you made artwork for today's lesson. Thank you so much for sharing it. This story reminds me of all the things we can be thankful for. Here's the story. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God called the light day and the darkness night. Then God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered into one place, and let dry ground appear." And it was so. And God called the dry ground land, like mountains. And the gathered water God called seas. God saw it was good. A friend from church drew this picture of the beach where the water meets the sand, and he wrote, "I like the beach because of the water. I like his beach picture because of the castle with the red flag." Another friend from church drew this picture of his family enjoying nature while camping, and he wrote, "I love to jump outside and especially to go camping. Running, running, jump, jump, jump. I am thankful to go outside." Well, after the creation of land and water, God made the vegetation. That's what the creation story tells us. Seed-bearing plants and trees of the land that bear fruit, like pumpkins. My friend who did this picture said she liked pumpkins because she is thankful for pumpkins because we can carve them and make them into pie. God was pleased with the plants. The land produced vegetation, trees, fruit. I like this drawing because it reminds me of Colorado, and I know lots of friends from church like going to Colorado, especially the Baldwins. The friend from church who drew this picture called it wheat blowing in the wind. I think you can see the motion of the Kansas wind blowing the wheat over. Here are 3 quick pictures of the prairies in Kansas in summer, fall, and winter. Then God said, "Let there be lights in the vault of the sky to separate the darkness from the day from the night. Let the lights in the vault of the sky give light to the earth. And God made two great lights, the sun and the moon and the stars in the sky. The person who drew this picture said, I like the sky. I like it that you can turn it so it's sun up, daytime, moon up, nighttime. You can imagine being in one side of the world or the other. Then God said, let the waters teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth, and fish swim in the ocean. So God created the great creatures of the sea, the whale and the narwhal, the manatee, the goldfish, and the starfish, and the jellyfish, and the worried fish, and every happy fish too, and the coral fish, the shark, and more sharks. Well, God created every winged bird, and God saw that it was good. God blessed all those birds, said, be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the skies, and let the birds increase in the sky and on earth, in the jungle, and in our backyards. There's a flamingo with boots and a beret, and a pelican, a swan, all kinds of birds. Well, the passage talks about birds of the sky, but we know that God also created the birds of the not sky. The friend who drew this penguin said, I like penguins because they are so cute when they waddle. I drew this picture for a friend from church who loves chickens. I drew it because I wanted to see her smile. I know she's grateful for chickens, and I'm grateful for her. I'm not sure where insects fit in to this story. This is where I put them in our drawings. We've got lots of mammals, dogs and bats and bats. And God said, let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, the livestock and the creatures that move across the ground, the wild animals like beavers. I drew this picture of a goat for my friends, the Meyers and the Millers, and my friend Amy, who really wants a goat. The Meyers and the Millers have them, but Amy just really wants them. I'm thankful for goats because I love it when Ruth and Steve bring fresh goat cheese to church. Lots of friends at church were grateful for cats. Here's an orange kitty. The friend who drew this said cats are important. He loves his cat because he is so furry and cute. You can tell he loves his cat because of the orange hearts. I'm sorry, the pink hearts. Here's that same cat again, drawn by another friend. You can see he wrote, I'm thankful for my cat because he is my friend. Here's an orange cat that I drew. I can only draw cats because I'm allergic to them in real life. But if you like reptiles, we have those too. Geckos and snakes, because God made every living thing. And lots of dogs. I think maybe somebody at church has a dachshund. That's my dog, Sunny. He turned 14 recently. I love him because he's sweet and he likes to sit at my side while I'm working. Here's another cat. Fred who drew this picture said, I am grateful for all cats, especially my cat Coco, because they are cute, cuddly, and friendly. Here's a little line drawing of a mole popping up out of the ground to see the sunshine. Well, the creation story tells us that God made all the animals, all of the plants, and everything we can see in nature. And then God said, now let's make a new creation, humanity. Look at all the variety there. Oh, God just did just that. God created humanity in God's own image. Then God blessed people and gave them these directions. I make you trustees of my estate, so care for my creation. What does it mean that people are the last part of creation? Well, European culture has traditionally taught us that this meant that people were in charge. They were on top of the food chain, and every other living thing belonged to us, so we could use it however we wanted. If we wanted to cut down the trees, we could. If we wanted to dig the mountains, we could. We could do what we wanted because we were in charge. We were allowed to dominate all the other parts of creation because we were made in God's image. That's what some kind of Christians believe. Well, I've been reading more about indigenous or Native American Christians and how they understand this story. Christians who are part of these cultures often read this story and don't think it means that people should dominate other parts of creation. They think it means that we're dependent on them. If we took away everything under the people, we'd be in rough shape. We rely on them. Right? We depend on them, and so we have to care for them. This week is Thanksgiving in the U.S. I'm thankful that we know good ways to care for the earth. I'm thankful for indigenous people reminding European Christians that that's our job. I'm grateful for the landscapes, the plants and animals that we rely on. I'm grateful that we can join with God in appreciating our natural world. And I'm thankful for each of you.
Psalm 95, 1-7. Come, let us sing joyfully to God. Raise a shout to our rock, our deliverance. Let us come into God's presence with thanksgiving and sing our praises with joy. For our God is a great God, the great ruler above all gods. O God, in your hands are the depths of the earth, and the mountain peaks are yours. Yours is the sea, for you made it, and dry land as well, for your hands formed it. Come, let us bow down and worship. Let us kneel before God, our Maker, for you are our God, and we are the people you shepherd, the flock under your care. If only you would hear God's voice today.
This morning, our message is being brought to us by Jenna, Baldwin, and Stephany, Meyer. I'd asked them to share where they are finding themselves right now, how God has been with them this past year, or what they are thankful for as we approach Thanksgiving. I really left things open-ended for them so that they would have some flexibility in how they felt led to respond to the call to do our teaching time this morning. So thank you so much, Jenna and Steph, for your willingness to lead us this morning.
Derek asked me to speak about what am I thankful for. And so during this time of COVID and staying home and maybe not being as connected to my friends as I would have liked to be, that's definitely made me think about how I'm thankful for not only my family but also my friends, not only from church but also from school and from other activities like service adventure and those types of things. So yeah, I've been definitely really thankful for my family and definitely grateful for being able to come back to a home and stay in a home that is definitely above what some other people have. So I've been very humbled by that realization during this time. I've also been grateful for my friends. Obviously, I have lots of friends within the congregation, and I've been able to keep in contact with some of them, but also have really come to realize how important my connections from my school are. So as some of you might know, I'm a student athletic trainer at Hutchinson Community College. So I like to think I'm friends with a lot of the athletes and stuff there, and when this all kind of very abruptly ended at the end of the year, last year at the beginning of the spring season, we were all kind of left with some dead ends, like not really being able to tie up, in a nice neat bow all of our like friendships and stuff. And luckily, social media exists, so that's really been a cool thing to be able to connect with some of them on social media and do that. But also not only connecting with the athletes, but connecting with some of my fellow student trainers has been really awesome. This year I felt really connected to a lot of them, and have really felt like we're making a really, really cool friend group within our little program. So I'm thankful for that, especially in a time when everything is not certain. We've all been able to hold each other steady and hold each other accountable during this time, and it's been definitely something that I took for granted last year when I began this program, and everybody's been very accepting and loving, and a lot of really awesome things. I've also been, just during this time of quarantine and all of this sort of stuff, been grateful for, like I said, social media, and being able to keep connected with people, friends, family who live far away, and I hadn't seen in a long time, and I think that was all really exacerbated by everything. But yeah, it's been a really up and down and kind of rough year, but there were so many things to be thankful for, and I definitely made sure to think about those every single day. Thanks, bye.
Good morning, or good evening, or whenever you are watching this. I am filming from my dorm room at Bethel College. So this is not quite a pulpit, but I am happy to share with you guys where I am and what's happening in my life, as Derek would like me to do. It's been an eventful 6 months. In fact, an eventful year that's been full of nothing that I expected it would, but I suppose that's a common theme. So just to start off, obviously, I did not think I would be in Kansas right now, because I had been assuming that I was going to be with MCC in Bolivia in South America. And missing out on that opportunity has grown me in ways that I never thought it would. And I don't even visualize it as missing out. When I heard that I would not be going to Bolivia, I felt such an intense feeling of joy. And I've never felt anything like that. I was so excited to come back to college, because by that point, I had become so fearful of what could be happening in Bolivia while I'm there, of not being able to come back. I had become fearful of my ability to work with others in a different culture with a different language. And realizing that I would come home to Bethel College, where I'm used to, and where I have come to realize I have strong ties and this is where I belong, that was powerful and brought me so much joy. So through everything, I don't regret being able to have that opportunity, and I don't regret applying, because I think it taught me who I am more than anything, and where I belong, which is here right now. And in the future, I may do something of the sort with service, but right now, I'm happy where I'm at, and I've decided to work towards an English degree, and my mind has not faltered in doing that once. So I'm surrounded by good people. I live with English majors and ADLs in this mod too. It's great. I love who I live with. I love what I'm doing, and I'm happy that I'm here. I'm so happy that I'm here. So it's just taught me so much about my mental strength and my identity, I suppose. Additionally, I was thrown into cross country when I decided that I would come back, which, by the way, was 2 weeks before school started when I knew I would be coming back. So Coach was ecstatic, and I was ecstatic too. And cross country has been the hardest thing that I've ever done. I don't know if this, I don't know what to compare this to, like, uh, um, going through an identity crisis or something of the sort, but I never thought that I'd be able to run 3+ miles at a time. And this season I've run 10 miles at a time, and it's been incredibly hard. Cross country has pushed me in a way, um, especially with having COVID-19 amidst it. It's taught me what mental strength is. And in the last race of the season, I had to try that mental strength more than I ever have in my life. Because when I've run track and I've run like a 400-meter dash, I there's no stopping is not an option because you're done in a minute. But in cross country, you're running for 30 minutes straight and you can't stop. And in the last race of the season, I did stop and I thought I'm not going to finish this race. Maybe because I was having heart problems from COVID, maybe because it was all mental. But stopping was maybe the most embarrassing thing that I've ever done. Because there was girls passing me saying, "You can't give up right now." And I didn't give up. I got back into the race, but wow, I don't know if I'll ever forget that. The whole season impacted me in a way that is incredible that I didn't think sports could impact me. So anyway, it's been a crazy fall. It's been insane, and I've loved every second of it and hated every second of it. But that's been a big change in my life, trying something new. So we're into track season now, and I feel much more at home with the sprinters, but wow, what a fun experience. Anyway, so I guess I just want to share with you guys how excited I am for the future. Um, COVID has taught me how powerful it is to be with other people. And I've been super blessed to live in a mod with such good people. We often have talks about religion, we have talks about books and history, and I am with such smart characters. And I'm just excited about my life. I'm excited to be a teacher perhaps someday, or whatever comes of that. I might do a study abroad experience. And I'm just excited to be here. I'm happy to be in the present, and I'm excited to see what's going to come. I miss you guys very much, and I hope that we will all be together someday soon.
Thank you for joining us for worship at New Creation this morning. I trust that you were blessed by Jenna and Steph's sharing, just as I was, as I received it this morning. What beautiful and sacred, holy ground it was. Thank you, both of you, for sharing of yourselves in that way. As you go from this place into your week, I pray that God would bless you and keep you, that the very face of Jesus would shine upon you and be gracious to you, that the Holy Spirit would embrace you and give you peace. Go in God's love.